prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it, no kidding. Breaking down a swish in front of your building. Sitting on the steps, feeling no feelings. Last night it was a cold killing. You gotta keep the devil in his hole, nigga. But you know how it go, nigga. I'm front line every time it's on, nigga. 100 pro flow, running shoot pro. 458 drop, playing bulletproof soul. Every few shows I just buy some new gold. Circle got smaller, everybody can't go. Downtown Diamond District, jewelers like yo. Hustle, holla at me, I got Cubans on the low.
Welcome to Hotbox the Podcast. I'm your host, Dots. I hope all is well. First things first. R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle. You were doing a lot of good things for your people. It's a very disturbing story. I'm not gonna spend too much on this. I'm sorry, guys, if it feels like I'm preoccupied. I'm really trying to get this audio thing right. Because I'm not a fucking engineer. But no more excuses. Let's get into that. Anyway, Nipsey Hussle shot and killed a couple weeks ago, allegedly by Eric Holder, aka Shitty Cuz. What an awful name, by the way, right? Shitty Cuz. Like, I wonder how. You know what? If I were a Crip, that would probably be my name, because I'm always taking shits. Trying to find some light and some humor in such a disastrous turn of events. Nipsey Hussle was only 33. And it's so many layers. That's why I don't even know where to start. Because I have a lot of things written down here. But, yeah, I'll start with the aftermath of everything. The black people in general are so quick to go at each other's throats. And that was the most disturbing thing that I seen. I, for one, don't believe this is a clear-cut case of vengeance and or jealousy. I'm not sure about the Dr. Sebi conspiracy angle. And if you don't know who Dr. Sebi is, he's a natural, I want to say holistic, I hope that's the right word, natural holistic doctor who supposedly came up with the cure for cancer, a cure for cancer and HIV. And I think he was sued for it. And ultimately he won for making those claims. So I don't know what that means. They must be true or whatever. But that angle is, if you're not familiar, is that anybody who mentions him tends to end up dead. He ended up dead. Lisa Left Eye Lopez ended up dead when she was talking about him. And I think she was going to do a documentary as well. And now Nipsey Hussle. Now there's the avid conspiracy theorists. Like I said, I don't subscribe to this, but I do feel like there were a lot of people who said that. I'm not going to put it past Big Pharma to put any. I don't put it past the government to put anybody out of their misery, like to take anybody out. Rather, sorry. So when I heard of it, I was like not surprised, because they were talking about this last year, that if he ends up dead, Nipsey Hussle, to you know what's up, basically. Now I do think this was a hired hit on him. I don't know about the Dr. Sebi stuff, but I do think anytime an individual has the power to unite the masses, black people, and especially gangs, you are a threat to the status quo, and they will take you out. That's what I think. I think he was on to something. He was preaching financial literacy to his community, a community I grew up in, and he was building his community. Shot right in front of his store in broad daylight by a supposed friend. Now, again, I don't put anything past anybody. I'm not saying Eric, aka Shitty Cuz, didn't do it. What I'm saying, it's more complicated and complex than what people were making it. And at first, that was the problem for me, that most people came in and just defamed black people. Like, this is black on black crime. This is gangster related and gang banging and basically just saying niggas is being niggas. And when I heard about it, I'm like, no, that doesn't add up. No rival gang, for one, is going to just pull up in a rival hood in front of his store, knowing he had the security he had around him. So I ruled that out immediately. And then when they were saying it was a friend, I was like, okay, this makes more sense. It's not gang related. To my knowledge, it was, even if it's vengeance, even if it's a dispute over money or whatever, that's not gang related. And then when people say gang related, would you call, let me say, a mafia hit Italian on Italian crime or any, like, that's what I'm saying, that there's not a such thing as black on black crime. You kill who you live around. That's across the board. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for gang members. That's stupid as fuck. And I would even tell Nipsey, if I could talk to him, I was not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that lifestyle. There's been a lot of gang violence that I've seen that's killed some of my homies and incarcerated some of my friends, and I've been involved in, as far as, I've never been a gangbanger, but as far as being banged on and jumped and wearing the wrong color. And I went to a private school, and I would always have to walk. And if you know where Sarah is where I went to school at. It's in the heart of Gardena. And Gardena, I want to say, what, Shotgun Crip is in that area. And they would always fuck with me on my way home. Right on Crenshaw and Rosecrans. Every time I pass that rallies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, I'm not a fan of gang members, gang activity. I say, if you are, there's a lot of gang members out here just making money and they ain't fucking with people. I'm down with that. Make your money, hustle. I'd rather you not sell drugs to your community, but considering economic and what's the word? Educational flaws and lack thereof in those communities. The government don't give a fuck about those communities, so they're not. We don't get the same education chances. Luckily enough, I was able to. My parents could afford private school. That's not a knock on public school, guys, but I've been to both. I know the difference, and it starts with education. It starts with proving to these, or telling these kids that there is a way out outside of that, and not everybody gets that opportunity. So you'll never ever hear me knock a person's hustle. But like I said, this wasn't gang related. It's an awful situation. And what bothered me most was that people were really upset. Like, I had somebody come to me talking about, can you dismiss the conspiracy theories? And that rubbed me the wrong way. I don't even think I'm a friend with this person no more. I think they deleted me off their Facebook, and that's fine. I don't care about that shit. But my problem is if somebody disagrees with you, what's the big fucking deal? Why is it that, and I don't know if this is a social media thing with the rise of that people can't take, like, when I'm wrong and you've proved to me beyond a reasonable doubt, you have facts, you have something I can see that's not just some random nigga's YouTube video. I can verify facts. I will come back and say I apologized. Because ultimately, I don't give a fuck if I'm wrong. I have an opinion and I'm going to say it. That's what I do for a living. I talk shit. But my problem with this is that it didn't seem right. It don't seem right in the heart of LA is gone over some bullshit nonetheless. But my thing is, why can't we just all take each other's opinions, mix them up, and get to the truth? What I do know is that if you have that power to unite, you are a fucking threat. They took out Martin Luther King. They took out Malcolm. Took out Huey. You don't think they would take out Nip? Now look at all of this. Look at all of this. His death has united hoods across the greater Los Angeles area. And that was the power that he had. I would throw this out there to all these hoods that please don't let this man's death be in vain. Make your money, but damn, there's enough money out there for all of y'all, man. Stop fighting over colors. Stop fighting in general. Stop shooting each other. Sorry, I knocked my table. I don't like to see black people fighting each other. Especially when I would say even his family and his close friends would say this it just doesn't seem right. Now, I want to say Eric Holder is being defended by what's Christopher Darden, famous prosecutor in the OJ trial. Now, if that don't tell you something, like why would this man take this case? And please, again, if I'm wrong, check me. But I want to say this is true. I hope I'm not just putting some bullshit out there. But if that is the case, you know what? I'm gonna look it up right now while I'm talking to you guys. If that is the case, then that off top tells me something's up. Like, why would this man come out of his retirement, which I don't think he was practicing law. He was chilling. And he takes this man's defense, Eric Holder. Like, I gotta think he thinks he can win the case. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. Christopher Darden's daughter says she's being harassed because he's representing suspect. Yeah, so, and that's a whole nother story. Of course she's being harassed. Everybody's on his head. So, but yeah, here, this is what I'm saying. This man don't strike Christopher Darden as a smart guy. He's a fucking lawyer. Almost had, OJ should have went to jail. He did that shit. Anyway, almost had him. I don't understand why he would take this case if he didn't feel there was something up, like something's awry. Like, Eric Holder swears his innocence. And it just, as the case opens up, obviously we'll be talking about it because it's going to be the most hyped case in LA probably since OJ, as far as our community is concerned. So that just off top tells me something is up. So anyway, yeah, again, I don't know about the conspiracy stuff. As far as, like I said, Dr. Sebi is concerned, I don't know about that. What I do know is, like I said, if you have the power to unite, like a Tupac, a Martin, a Huey, if you have the power to unite the lower prongs of the community, the downtrodden, the poor, that is a problem. They don't want that. Which is why somebody like Trump, is so divisive and has poor whites fighting poor blacks, and it's all a money grab. And if we're concentrated on hating each other, they win. So if you have the power to unite gangs and then all of a sudden gangs start fighting, what the fuck they pulling this over for? If all of a sudden you couldn't perpetuate the hood mentality on the black man, what do you have? Now we're not so dangerous. Now we're getting along in our own hoods, and now we're thriving, putting money back into our neighborhoods and making it a place where we can walk around and our kids can walk around free.